Story time, yes. I'm going to have to fluff this thing up a little bit if I'm going to sit here and tell Christmas stories, okay? All right, guys. Story time, story time.
Yahoo!
We're going to tell a story about Christmas. Yes. Miserable, Tony, you're a miserable man. Well, I'm going to tell you, my dad was miserable around this at this time, okay? So please believe me, it's the truth, okay? So this is a true story. When I was a kid, I'm going to guess, I don't know, second or third grade. So that probably made me, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old, all right? It was Christmas time. Now, I don't know how you guys are, but maybe your parents were like mine. You know, my parents, they drank. They liked to go out and party on the weekend. They worked really hard all week long and took care of 4 kids, and they used to just love to go out and dance and go to these dance clubs and drink and do this and do that and party. They were big fans of country music, and they were really into it. They used to go out to this place called the Big Fresno Barn and just, you know, dance all night long and get drunk. And anyway, they'd probably go do that once a month. Maybe on a busy month, they'd go do it twice a month, you know. And, that's just how it was. They were partiers, and they were going to party on the weekend. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Now, do any of you guys have parents like that like to go out and have some fun, have some drinks, and do a little dancing, or I don't know, maybe go see a play and have some drinks afterwards, or whatever, you know? Anyway, that's what my parents used to like to do. And they would go out and party. They used to go see Buck Owens live, or they used to go see June Carter, or they used to go see Johnny Cash, or they used to go see, I don't know, a whole bunch of these different country and western guys, and they'd see them live, and they'd dance to their music, you know, and that was at a place called the Big Fresno Barn, okay? Anyway, this one Christmas, we're out there, and I'm not there, okay? Me and my little sister and my 2 older brothers were at home, and my oldest brother, Edward, he's at home too, and he's babysitting. Anyway, this was like Christmas Eve night or you know, whatever the weekend was right around Christmas, and I don't know. See, there's crazy people in this world, you know what I mean? And they're just going to bother you no matter what. So anyway, my mom and dad, they went down to the Big Fresno Barn, and they were partying out there, and it was right around Christmas time, and they're out there all night long having a great time. And when I say all night long, they'd finally get home at 2 or 3 in the morning, you know. And I think at the place that they used to go, they had a bar, but the bar only sold beer, and they would take a bottle of booze and some mix, and they'd go out during breaks. When the band would take a break, they'd go out in the parking lot, and they'd sit out there and sip on whiskey or mix their own drinks and whatever, okay? And they had, I don't know, probably 20 or 30 friends that used to meet them out there, and they'd go do that on a pretty regular basis. So, you know, I grew up in an atmosphere where my mom and dad smoked and my mom and dad drank, you know, and that was in the 60s, okay? And I got out of grammar school in 68, and I got out of high school in 72. Anyway, I'll never forget this as long as I live. On Christmas Eve night, they would always let us open one package. You know, we could pick out one present, you know, and we'd all, you know, for a week ahead of time, we'd check out everything under the tree and maybe shake it when nobody's around so we could try and figure out which was the best one so we could do that. And I'll never forget this. My dad and my mom, they come home and they're all happy, and they're, you know, yelling and screaming, and they're happy about Christmas Eve, and they're just the happiest people in the whole world, you know. And the next thing you know, my dad takes off running to the bathroom, and he runs in the bathroom, and we hear him in there, and he's just and he's just throwing his guts up, you know. And I mean, he vomited and he vomited and he vomited and he vomited, you know. And he's in there flushing the toilet and vomiting some more, and flushing the toilet and vomiting some more. Finally, he comes out of the bathroom and he's still drunk, you know, and he's looking around and he's happy. It's Christmas Eve and he's with all of his kids and he's just the happiest guy in the world. And all of a sudden he gets this real weird look on his face. And he says, "Oh, shit. I flushed my false teeth down the toilet." And he runs in there and he goes into the toilet and he's reaching around trying to dig down and stick his hand down into that toilet trying to find his false teeth. And while he was drunk and while he was throwing up, he vomited his false teeth right into the toilet and flushed the toilet, and his false teeth got flushed right down the toilet, right down the drain, right out into the sewer, okay?
Those are pretty expensive, right?
Yeah, those were very expensive. And back then, you know, false teeth was something that, you know, they had just come out with acrylics and this and that and this and that. And my dad was all pissed off. I mean, really pissed off, okay? And here he was going to end up having to spend a couple $100 on a new set of false teeth, and it was going to take him, time to get them. And oh God, I'll never forget the worst Christmas I ever had in my life. The next day he wakes up, and not only did he have a hangover, okay, but he don't have no teeth, and he had just got drunk and flushed his teeth down the toilet, you know. And believe me, right now, us kids, we were not in a hurry to run in there and yell and scream and open all the packages and, be the happiest people for Christmas because, it was just not going to be a good day. You know what I mean? And we were poor and we were hillbillies. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a big deal for the old man to spank you if you got made too much noise or if he was in a bad mood. And believe me, we got spanked hundreds of times. Anyway, that was my Christmas. Now, around 1 o'clock that day, we had Christmas dinner, and I'll never forget my dad was sitting at the dinner table, and he's got me on his right, my brother Gene on his left, then Edward, and then Linda at the far end, and then Mom's next to me, between me and Linda. And I'm right next to him. And my dad bows his head before we eat. We always said a prayer. And he thanked God for his wonderful family and all the wonderful blessings that he's had. And he thanked God for the great life that he'd had, and how lucky he felt that all the great things that happened to him in life, and said amen. And he lifted his head up and said, "Look now, you kids, don't let this crap with me getting drunk and losing my false teeth ruin your Christmas. I love you kids, and there's nothing in the whole world that's more important to me than you kids and your mom." And it just, all of a sudden, it took a real day that had gloom kind of broadcast all over it, you know what I mean, to the best and most exciting day that there is in the whole world, you know. And I'll just never forget that. Anyway, so that was a fantastic day for me. Didn't start off that way, but it sure turned out that way, you know. And that's how my dad was. You know, my dad was grateful for the blessings God gave him. Good health, good family, good kids, and a good life, And that's what Christmas is all about, Christmas is about spending time with your kids and spending time with your family and loving them and caring about them and wanting good things to happen in the world, So anyway, hey, we can get back to playing some RuneScape, and thank you guys for listening to my story, and I hope you liked it, okay? But I got to tell you one thing right now, okay? It was funnier than hell when you saw the look on his face, now that I think back about it, when he said, "Oh my God, I just flushed my false teeth down the drain." I mean, think about that, okay? That's funny, isn't it? Oh my God, I just flushed my false teeth down the drain. Oh God. Now, obviously, that is a really true story, because who could make some shit like that up? You know what I mean? Nobody in their right mind. Anyway, hey, I hope you guys liked it. Oh my God, I just flushed my false teeth down the drain. And he did.